I did make a promise to myself that I would stay the course of this program. I have covered few area today, and I said that I would deploy shorts video, and I will also cover it with a one blanket long video. And today, I started by trying to cover areas that, like, for example, I say what to do or what do we do as we currently are waiting for the 194 days to go. What do we do now after we already registered and we're waiting for our PVC, and some PVCs has been delivering in Ocean State quicker than ever because they said there's an election that is coming up. What do we do now? I want to start by saying that buy black. That was what they were. There was a preach that was going on when I was in the United States when they were saying buy black. And what they mean by that is buy from the black community and let the dollar stays in the community. Or buy from black people. That would make our market capitalization, or what I call our buying power, to be higher. For example, if a year ago they said it was 1 billion, this next year it will be 1 trillion, stuff like that, because our buying power is a little bit low. But in Nigeria, for example, I am more bigger on telling you that try as much as you can to be conscious. And by conscious, I mean, let us start thinking about helping each other out. Let us start doing the needful for our community. Let's be community oriented, because if we stay in the community and we do the needful by, for example, going to the world level to go and find out what are the people who are sitting there sharing the money among themselves, or playing the role of the one that would dictate where a job will be given to, who will be given to. They will call somebody and say, we're going to give you a job. Is your son have WAEC? Is your son have a degree? Or just like the way Okpebolo gave a job to Oshomole's son, and Oshomole was saying that I didn't ask for it. You didn't have to ask for it. It is what it is. I want to make that very clear. And I kept hearing that nobody has in any way said in the First Republic, where Shehu Shagari was there, nobody ever said anything about corruption. I am beating my chest to say that Shagari was an epitome of a guy who, what he was about was giving contract to people, to politicians who voted him in via the Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority. That's exactly what Asiwaju is doing. Asiwaju is wetting the hands of those who voted him in. I think, if I may be wrong, you may want to correct me. I want to believe, and I'm going to have to say, tell you guys if I'm wrong in this, let me know. Femi Gbajabiamila has a pedigree of a parent or an uncle who Gbajabiamila is a crony of that descendant. I think that's, I will need that for somebody to help me to clean that out. I want to stop there. It's not different from the way Obama, when he came into office, he gave the green the green revolution that he was putting together and was giving it to Solaris, which is some of the solar company in California. Most of them went belly up and stuff like that. I want to back again to Shagari. Shagari was giving money to his cronies who voted him into power. I'm saying that because I was working for the federal government with the River Basin, and I was responsible for those who were evaluating the contract. And most of the people they were going to would be chairman of a specific local government area, whether it's going to be in Isham, whether it's going to be in Delta, and stuff like that. The only thing that I do remember, and I want to say this now, and this is something that you may want to take to the bank because a lot of people are not going to find this information anywhere. And that's what I think it makes these pundits who are currently, because that's going to be my next point of call. I'm going to talk about pundits. But before talking about the pundits, I want to tell you that I am a pundit because I want to tell you now that there was, our general manager was a worker. So long as he was representing the palace, they didn't really care about having to tell him to give contract to Yokoriomo or Yokovia. They didn't care about that. All they care is that our boy is there, he will be doing the needful. And that was the situation then. But I did crack the division code because before that time, I had already been the president of the student union government, and I did not eat like Obi didn't eat. So by the time I got into the federal government, I was not eating, and I was looking at them eating, and I challenged them, challenged the status quo. So that's, I saw that this was not going to change. Not only that, I have my bottleneck of not wanting to be a stepping stone for the rest of my life, which means I will be out there and I can't sit across the table with a classmate of mine in primary school because of the fact that I had the bottleneck of my short attention span, which exacerbated to from my birth defect. So I doubled down to make sure I was able to get my education straightened out. So the point I'm making there is that at this point in time, we are dealing with corruption that was even dated back to when the pay and roll in the military during the federal government Biafra war. If a soldier died, they would take the money in until their family start beating the drum that they want them to pay them for the death of their family before they was now start releasing the money to them. That happened a lot, even with the war in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, where the American government was taking tons of money, stuffing it into an aeroplane, flying into Afghanistan, Iraq, and giving it to the warlord to influence their decision so that they will not fight. So when you are talking, you see that they said America was fighting in Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, and all that. They were influencing the decision by stacking money into an aeroplane that would take it down there because they said they did not have the structure of what you call the banking system was not functional, which I think that was a bunch of boondoggle. I went there because you don't know this, and I know this, and I'm revealing it. Let me go straight to another point. The second point I want to go into is the pundit. I have listened to Ladimeji, and listened to Konkwo, and listened to Okenia, which is a reverend. I've listened to Deni and all these people, and what I'm taking away from them is that I am glad that nobody has ever paid me to be their spokesman because I will not be daft. Just like Okonkwo was on the air today and he was talking to the fact that Obi says that I'm only asking him to bring you are my spokesman during, you are my media person. You know that if you take me to court, I will speak the secret that I know about you. And Obi said, you cannot blackmail me, but while I'm asking you, bring it out to the public, take it to the court so that the court will decide whether what you're saying is correct, because you cannot be saying that, and that was what Obi said. But he is not even ready to back down now. Apart from that, there was another spokesman for Atiku that was accusing Obasanjo of being obsessed with Atiku anytime there was an election. In my candid opinion, Obasanjo was never charged for corruption. Atiku was taken to, Obasanjo did approve that he should be investigated, and he got investigated. To have got to that point where your boss is telling you to be investigated, if you were working for his company, he would have fired you. If he were working for his company and he was not a daughter head, he would still fire you if he was your president. Like, Tinubu don't want to fire Femi Gbajabiamila because they are sharing this money. This is the one that came out to the public. He's using the same thing. He said he bought the presidency with his own money. Nigeria. He bought Nigeria. And I thought he's not going to listen to anybody in Nigeria. He doesn't care whether you are dying or stuff like that. He's just going to do what he's going to do. And we owe it to ourselves to get rid of it. That's what I want to conclude upon it. I'm glad that I'm not the one that would be out there beating the drum of other people when I know they are wrong. I can understand the press secretary like, what's his name? Egbon, Bayo Ananga, saying something that this guy is a mole. This guy is a fake agency, stuff like that. But Bajamila on his own should not, at this point, be sitting in that office. But when Tinubu says the buck stops at my desk, I hope he means that when the cardinals were on his face in Abuja, telling him what nobody has told him, that there is suffering, there is suffering in the land, and the guy told Oyenia said that we have already told him, and we've done our part in case when things goes down on the long run, because the youth will definitely rise up, and that's what he said. We've done our part. That's exactly what I'm doing here. I am doing my part by taking on the issue of letting you know that 5 years from now, 4 years from now, when Tinubu would have destroyed Nigeria completely by sending her to the boondog, I will now know I am on the record. I have all my area where when I make speeches, I say what I say and I go on the record. My lawyer is leery of this point of view that I should not chest out so much. But the point I'm making is that if I don't chest out, if I don't say the needful, which is the reason why they brought me back from abroad, because they know I was getting ready to start going public with what I know, and it might drag the family's name into the mud. And I thought they say, let's get him out of there. only to come here now and find out that I have not stopped making a statement that I know has article that can back it up because I'm talking from fact. But she's thinking that I should be careful of libel, which means if there is somebody's case is not being litigated, there's no court case in it, I should not be using it as reference material. Stuff like that. I want to take another one up. And the other one I want to take up is that I did give another deliverable on the positive of life in Nigeria. And what I said there was, we need to rescue this country from the underneath Asiwaju. And what I came up with is that I was able to praise the Nigerians, that Nigerians are smart people, they are resilient, but we just need to put things together to be able to reach the next level. I went further in that same environment to say that we have problems in this country right now, and I'm separating them into two areas, something that nobody's talking about, like the foreign missionaries are our worst enemy. They are the one that destroyed us, dated back to 30 light years back. And they are the one destroying us today. And you can even see that going on in South Africa. I mean, I'm not using South Africa as a case in point. I'm using it as a fact that they came up to say where Sowore is saying they should allow that actress to come and sing in Lagos. I didn't look at it from that angle. The only way I was looking at it from the very beginning is that we foreigners or we Nigerians should abstain from destroying in other people's land. I was in the United States for 42 years. I didn't destroy America. I created America. That's why I always remember to say, may God continue to bless the United States of America. When I walked away from it and I was able to get out of that place without, even if I was not brought back to Nigeria, I would have still been able to do the needful, to be there and still do exactly what I am doing right now. I wouldn't have stopped. The worst case scenario was that when Trump was in the office the first time, he brought the Dallas police to come and break into my own apartment when everybody was, my people who owns my property was saying they shouldn't have come to you because I was living in a place that has a lot of prostitution, violence, drug dealing, and everything. My front house would be where they are directing the traffic. But they thought they were going to just raid that area. And I thought we have about 52 units. And they end up packing almost like half of the people and taking them to jail. While I was just leaving 30 minutes out and 30 minutes when I came back in the evening, my place lights was on, the door was cracked open and everything. And I said, okay. I went in and crashed out and everything. But the bottom line is that I believe that Trump was responsible for that because it was under his watch. I have 5 or 6 pages of where they say you don't have no currency, you don't have no amphetamines, you don't have no child pornography and stuff like that. But that was little and I was too late. I think I've covered the area that I want to cover, and I'm just going to brush up back again at it and saying that what we need, the needful, what we need to do, and I think I cover it by saying that we should be taking care of ourselves. And we should be not just taking care of ourselves, we should be participating in the world level to make sure that the people who are sitting at the world level there that are crooks. I know this for a fact. It's not, I'm not making this up. And I really bounced it around and took it back to Shagari when I know what was really going on. And I have evidence to be able to prove that. People know that. That's what I do. That's what I've experienced. I'm giving you my life experience. And I've written 2 memoirs. From God to Goddess. It's one of my memoirs. How I went abroad and came back. Making a dream beyond border, turning vision into reality is another of my memoir of how Nigeria currently is. But none of this book are moving because the fact that I am back and the country here is totally captured by the kitchen cabinet and the people who think it is their birthright. And I've made that very clear. The politicians are not our boss. And I've had three clips to that effect. I'm going to close this up by saying that if you do go from the very beginning to the end to the present time, the only thing you can do for me is to go buy my book, is to give me enough, bless my game and let me be able to get to the point of where I will be monetized. That those 2 things are not, they are prelude to the sequence of stuff that's going to come. And I don't talk you know that. If you don't even know that, I want to let you know that I don't have to do this because people are suffering out there. The inflation is killing us. Banditry is killing us. Insecurity is killing us. Borrowing to feed ourselves is killing us. Food insecurity is killing us because they are giving more power to foreigners than they will give to us. We believe, this is what I think I'm going through since I've been back. Nigerians don't trust each other anymore. We are so, we don't believe in each other. We are skeptic of ourselves. We don't believe in each other anymore. And I saw it. We believe in the white man. And by white man, we're talking about an Indian is a white man, according to my mother. Hispaniola is a white man. Somebody from the subcontinent is a white man. Somebody from, Israel is a white man. And that's wrong because the only white people that Hitler wanted to separate with blue and blue eye were those people who were Caucasians, that he was trying to separate from the Jewish and all that. Please, and I say please, give me all the likes and give me all the commentaries. I am not going to stop because the pundits are saying that I should continue. Don't stop, get it, don't stop, get it. Again, according to Calabar woman, it says life is hard. Not true. Guys, life is hard for Nigeria. We are really in the big doo-doo. We are going to need districts to get out of it. Thank you. Bye-bye.